everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we're getting pretty up close and personal, as today I am actually going to be focusing on creating my very first dream catcher. Now, I've had this idea for a while, but I most definitely didn't want to just try making a simple one, so I actually found an owl-shaped design that I would like to do, and I'm going to be using these gold rings that I got off Amazon. I used these in my wreath making video, but as you can see, by putting these three rings together, we get the eyes, the body, and I was going to add some feathers, and obviously some string and maybe some beads here and there to create the image of an owl, maybe even glue on some felt, who knows. But yeah, this is kind of my idea. I'm thinking I'm going to keep some of the gold in because I have the feathers that are coming are this kind of pinky color and the gold, and I'd really like to tie that into the rest of it. So I think I'm only going to add really a completely wrapped dream catcher down here, and then just kind of do some danglies for the eyes with some interesting beads on the top. So yeah, the first thing I have to do is just get started on the lower ring here, and for that I'm going to have to wrap the entire thing in this pink embroidery floss. Alright, so the hoop has been completely wrapped in the embroidery floss, the pink embroidery floss. Wow, words are just hard today. I double knotted back where I started with whatever was left over. You can see it's kind of doubled up over on the edges, but I think it looks pretty good. So I will have this one on the bottom and the two on top. So that means this is going to be the one that has our actual dream catcher in it. So the process is pretty simple. A lot of the reason I wanted to wrap it in the first place is so that it had a little bit more traction when I actually started wrapping around for, goodness gracious, words are just so hard, for the dream catcher. So very simply, I'm going to need to start it off by tying it off into a corner. So I'm going to do that just right here. Anywhere on the circle works, it's a circle. Now what needs to be done is you need to go through and you need to pull it through the circle, all the string you have, and kind of create this single line across the top and wrap around again. So stick that in, and it's created this little loop here with a single line across the top. Now we're going to do it again. So we'll bring it down and through. Continue around the circle, through. Oops. Make sure you make the line, then go through. Try to hold it as tight as you can, just for convenience. So now we've got, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different lines all around. And now we're going to start to continue this pattern, only instead of going around the hoop, we're actually going to go in these little half circle slivers holes we've made here. So instead of going all the way through the circle, we're going to go into this tiny little crevice. And it's going to create this kind of shape when we go through it. Yeah, I needed to have more than 5, so I just kind of swirled it around and stuck it in those little swirls. I don't even know how many I have, and I've just kind of run out of string. Embroidery floss? I don't know why that word is not coming to me this evening. So I'm just going to tie off, double knot it into another piece that I just cut off. I didn't do any measuring here. I just kind of wanted to wing it and give this a try for the first time ever. And so once I get that tied in, make sure it's nice and tight. I'm probably going to cut off these extra bits. And second bit here. So you can definitely see it's starting to take shape here, and I'm just going around. So this one I just went inside the little holes that I've made here. I don't know why this is so difficult to explain. It's just it's so simple that I think I'm overcomplicating how difficult this has to be. So basically I'm just pulling it through from behind and making sure to keep it nice and tight, or as tight as I can. And then I'm just going over to the next line. As you can see, I pulled it through this one. I'm gonna go through that one, and then that one, and then that one, and just kind of go through the bottom parts of all these little triangles. And yeah, that will eventually bring us to the center where I'll tie it off in a knot. And I guess that is really the gist, so I'm just gonna keep rolling and show you when I'm done. It took about 3 tries of me tying some extra string onto the old one and trying to go around before it snapped off that I decided, you know what, okay, I just took everything off and started again with an extra long piece. I've gotten to a point where this is just kind of what it looks like without me tying everything super tight with this nice little hole in the middle, and I think it's really nice and even, so I decided to end there. I simply tied a little knot where it last left, and I'm going to cut my extra stuff off and probably put a little dab of glue on there. Same thing on the top, leaving just a little bit. And there is the bottom part of my owl. It's actually got pretty dark in here, obviously, but there is one more thing that I would like to do before I go to bed, and that is to connect all of these rings together, which, man, is going to be kind of a pain with some of the more intricate details I have on the top, unless I kind of swap it around and do that. But I definitely would rather have the hole kind of angled more toward the top. So I'm going to be taking this really thin floral wire that I got from Dollar Tree, super inexpensive, and I'm going to be wrapping it around this side, wrapping it around this side, and wrapping it around the middle. And I was trying to go through my beads and see if I liked any for my eyes. I haven't totally found any yet, but we'll come back to this tomorrow and see if I can find, I guess, just the ways that I would like for this to look. So the last couple things I'll need will be the feathers and some felt and maybe some beads for the eyes. Otherwise, I think I have a little bit of a different idea using that felt for the eyes that might work out just fine. So I will be wrapping this around and calling it a night, and you'll be seeing me again in a couple of days. It is a new day, and you can totally tell by the difference in lighting. I was really trying to get this done, but it is wintertime here, so the sun sets super early. I actually have a new set of lights coming in that might hopefully make it easier for me to film later in the day. But until then, hopefully it is okay that you had to endure such horrid lighting for a while. I wrapped everything in the black wire only to realize I had gold wire, and that matched way better, so I just kind of overlaid some of the black. It's a little messy looking, but I think it will be okay. I couldn't find any beads that I liked for sure, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create some felt eyes, a felt beak, and I'm going to start tying in what I want to kind of hang the dream catcher at the top, and I'm going to go one from each eye. So I think I'll actually do that first. That way it'll actually give the felt something to grip onto. And then I think I'm going to start maybe tying a couple of little pieces coming from the bottom so that I can add my feathers. Alright, I think I've got all my felt cut out. I went with this kind of like goggle shape in white for the background of the eyes. I went yellow for the eyes, so I'm just going to pop those in the center of each side pupil. Very simple. And I didn't want to try to make it super teeny tiny circles, so I ended up doing these like mini triangles off of the corners of where I cut out those circles. So I am going to be doing that. I haven't decided which way I want the eye to go yet. I think I want the upper part of the triangle up, just to kind of add that little extra dimension there. And lastly is the nose, which I did in orange. It's going to go just slightly into the eyeballs. and kind of create that little shape there. So I still am waiting on the feathers to come in the mail, and they're really pretty. They're white, and they're dipped and painted into like a similar looking pink to this and a gold. So I am hoping that once those get here, I'll be able to kind of create some like feather eyebrow situation on top of his eyes and keep some feathers dangling on either side. I'm thinking like 2 in the front here and then having some dangle from the bottom. And I think that might be it. I might also like to add maybe like a dab of like glitter in some places. But other than that, I think we're getting pretty close to the finished product. Okay, everything is attached, and I've added in some gold beads just with a little dot of hot glue. I used a water-soluble marker, so I'll be washing off that blue around the edges, and I think this is really all I'm able to do until I get those feathers in the mail. So I think this is where I'm going to hold stuff off, and I will probably come back in a day or two whenever I get those feathers delivered to finish this up and hopefully package it in time for my cousin's birthday. So yeah, I will see you in a couple days. Welcome back! It is several days, maybe even a week later, I'm not totally certain. There was some delay in some of the shipping, but I finally got my feathers. So here they are. I got the pink here, the gold in the bottom. The gold's definitely a little brassier, but I think it'll work out just fine. And they're nice and tiny, the perfect size for this. I think I got a pack of 10. So really all that's left to do is attach these with some glue, and I will have my completed dream catcher. So I'm thinking I want to do definitely something over the eyes. So I was thinking like doing something like this perhaps, and kind of like doing it behind and then kind of bringing it to the front. I might cut the ends off to make that easier and do like a little crisscross situation on top perhaps. And then I wanted, I believe, 2 kind of in the front, and then I wanted a couple kind of coming off the bottom. I definitely think I'm going to cut the ends off of these, but yeah, maybe like 4 or 5 kind of off the bottom to dangle a little bit and kind of create this more owl-like shape. But I already think it looks way better with the feathers on it. So yeah, I'm going to cut the ends off here and then glue all my pieces on. And here he is, my first ever dream catcher. And I think I definitely went a more decorative route than I did a very traditional route, but I think it turned out really cute. And I think the colors are really pretty. I think maybe he looks a little evil on top because of the way I did the feathers, but overall, I think this is a really, really cute look. And I'm really excited to give this away as a gift. I think it's very unique. I definitely feel like this is something that only you could make yourself and really customize it to the way that whoever's receiving it would like, love, or just enjoy, I suppose. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. I hope you are too. If you like what you saw, feel free to like and subscribe. I put out new videos every Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time. And sometimes I do reviews, sometimes I do crafts, and sometimes I'm just trying out new things. So if you want some tips and tricks on how I continue to craft and partake in my hobbies while on a budget, feel free to hit that like button and maybe even hit the bell if you are interested in being notified every time I upload. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you next week. Bye-bye.